flew on 4 space shuttle missions, 3 on Columbia and 1 on Discovery. I've spent a total of 44 days in space. And during that time, I went around the Earth, all the way around 692 times. Don't be too impressed, I slept through a third of those. But I got to see a lot of our planet. It was really an amazing experience. People ask me what's the best part of being in space. Well, floating around in zero gravity is a lot of fun. But for me, looking out the window at planet Earth was really what I enjoyed doing. Any free minute that I had in the shuttle, I would be at the window watching the Earth go by. I've seen the top of Mount Everest with my own eyes about 25 times during my missions. They don't seem to be too impressed by that. I call it the lazy man's way to see the top of Mount Everest, right? But I've seen that 25 times. I've seen the Great Barrier Reef of Australia, the Amazon rainforest, Mount Kilimanjaro. It's like taking a photographic book of the Earth and you're looking out the window and seeing it with your own eyes, which is really amazing. The atmosphere up in space, our blue atmosphere, is paper thin when you see it from space. On a nice sunny day, that blue atmosphere here in Houston looks like it goes on forever and ever. But from space, it really looks like a paper-thin layer that makes you appreciate how fragile our planet is here. Building 9 is a really special place. We do a lot of our training right here in Building 9 for the astronauts. And there's a lot of training before you ever go to space. My first mission was 15 days long, and I trained 4 years for that. So it just tells you there's a lot of training before they let you fly in space. For our astronauts today training to go to this International Space Station, they'll train 5, 6, 7 years for their first mission. So there's a lot we need to know. They try to prepare us for everything and every kind of possibility of something that you'll see in space. And that's why it's just exhaustive training getting ready so you know everything, you've seen everything, and you're ready for any situation that arises. This is a mock-up, not a mock-up, but yeah, a mock-up facility here. We've got big models of the International Space Station, each of the modules. So you'll see those, that's where the astronauts train. The modules are not all connected as they would be in space because it would take up too much room. So you'll see them all lined up, and we would train in each of the modules. Maybe you're practicing, learning where the switches are, setting up computer networks, doing photography, setting up lights, different things like that that we'll do in these facilities. There's an old mock-up of the space shuttle, just up the is the crew compartment area. And we trained in that, and again, I've spent hundreds of hours in this building. And in the space shuttle one, we would practice emergency evacuations in case we simulated a crash landing. We could also tilt that one upright, and we would practice getting out of the space shuttle as if it was on the launch pad on launch morning if there was some emergency that we had to get out of there for. So you'll see a Soyuz spacecraft trainer up there as well, a Boeing commercial Starliner spacecraft. This is one that we're going to be launching our astronauts to the space station very shortly in. You probably heard of SpaceX launching our astronauts. Well, Boeing is going to do that with the Starliner. You'll see a mock-up of that. And then there's an Ares spacecraft. The Ares is a new one for our new rocket called the Space Launch System. We're going to launch that for the first time in November of this year. And this is the rocket that's going to have the capability to send astronauts back to the moon and then go on to Mars. We're planning to land on Mars roughly 20 years from now. And we're getting ready for those missions. The astronauts that will be on those missions 20 years from now are not this generation of astronauts. The astronauts going to Mars, I see some of them here in the front row, off to the side, and a few in the back there. This is the Mars generation. And it'll be one of them that'll be the first human to set foot on Mars. So we're doing work, you see like a little mobile laboratory here for Mars. We're designing new spacesuits. We're getting ready for Mars. But it'll be our young students that'll be the astronauts in the future undertaking those missions. They're our future scientists and engineers, astronauts and explorers. So we need all of you working hard in school every day, right? So you can be ready to help us on these missions. So with that, let me just say, take a quick break and see if you want to ask any questions, anything you'd like to ask this morning.